So while I was mucking around in Spain and Denmark, I've been doing a bit of shopping. I couldn't really buy any Skylanders because the charity stores I was living near to didn't supply them. The same could also be said about Bionicles and Hero Factories, but just with the added bonus of bootlegs. With Transformers, there is very little stock due to Hasbro's incompetence with distributing, and because I'm running out of space for my Transformers collection in my room. However, fate had a surprise in store for me. So I bought all of this. Only costed me £166. I remember getting into Ninjago in its first year in 2011. Though I didn't get any of the otherwise very cool sets, I did buy some of the spinners, which I have to say were really fun to mess around, and they were so iconic that even my dad remembers them. I also remember buying some Ninjago activity books, and that's why I have the original J, and I think I have a, Chopov somewhere. I also remember watching a pilot show of Ninjago, including the mini-movies, which I watched repeatedly, and of course, it also gave us the best two comedians in the world, Cruncher and Akal.
Tell me about it. Since those ninjas came down here and did that twitsitsu. Spinjitsu!
I vividly remember watching the teaser trailer to the next season of Ninjago, and while 2012 was also the first year I got into Hero Factory, this didn't stop me from getting a little bit more Ninjago stuff than I did the previous year. I do remember getting Kai's Blade Cycle, I think on my birthday of that year, and spinners were also just as good as the previous year. I remember getting 2 spinner packs as well as 3 booster packs too, and plus the TV show was still on the high notes. And then 2013 rolled around, which was supposed to mark Ninjago's end with the final battle. How ironic. I mean, I remember getting this set, but that's about it really. And from what I remember, the specific season of this year of the show was barely airing in Cartoon Network, and I only remember this. Then LEGO Ninjago rebooted rolled around in late 2013, and I have to say, I really did like the aesthetics of this particular year. Plus, the music was just the icing on the cake. Unfortunately, I only bought one set from that year, the Horror Hunter. Honestly, this is due to the fact that I was getting into Skylanders, and into the world of video gaming in general, which was a phenomenon I never experienced up until this point. The beginning of 2015 saw the Tournament of Elements, and while I never got any of the sets aside from 2 polybacks, it did however make one of the best seasons of Ninjago. The concept was amazing, the stakes were high, Master Chen, and it didn't stop there. 2015 also saw Possession. It has one of arguably the most popular and most well-loved season of Ninjago, and I really can't fault it for that. It had an amazing villain with a reasonable motivation. It also held some of the most powerful and saddest moments in all of Ninjago, and the final battle at the end of the season was amazing. I mean, it's no wonder why, from what I remember, Cartoon Network kept airing from this particular season, because it was just so damn good. Despite this, however, I only got 2 of the sets. I only had 1 Air Jitsu spinner, but in one of my birthdays, I also got Moro's Dragon, which was a really awesome set, and I'm actually surprised that it's still standing and not mixed in with all my other Legos in my room. For me personally at least, it continued on a high note with Skybound in 2016. The stakes were also pretty high in Skybound as the ninja was slowly being outnumbered by the Sky Pirates. And also, we got to see a side of Jay that we'd never really seen before, because up until then, Jay was only really here for comic relief. Although I got 2 of the sets, ultimately I was more focused on the ending of Bionicle Generation 2, while also getting interested in Nexo Knights. Hence why I didn't really pay much attention to the Day of the Departed sets, which is something I kind of both regret, but also don't really mind. Hands of Time exists, I guess. I've never actually watched the show, and I only bought 1 set from Waterstones of all places, but I honestly forgot about this particular wave because not only did the new LEGO Nexo Knights sets at the time look a lot more cooler in my eyes, but also I was getting into Transformers, thanks to me watching the Michael Bay movies. So ultimately, Ninjago didn't really have a lot to offer for me aside from the movie, which I thought was pretty fine, I guess. Also, quick shout out to Starfire321, as he actually owns one of the sets from that particular line, and he still has it intact. Then came LEGO Ninjago Sons of Garmadon, and yeah, I'm sorry guys, but I didn't really like this one when I was younger. Look, I didn't really mind the movie designs, but I thought these designs fit the aesthetic of a movie, and not Ninjago itself. But that's not my only reason why. I watched some episodes of the show, and while many people say it's good, I found it personally really boring. I'm sorry. The only real things that I enjoyed about Sons of Garmadon is that, well, I guess Mr. E looks cool, I'll give you that. And also there's an app game which I played on my iPad sometimes, and I actually found it really enjoyable. But sorry, I just didn't really like Sons of Garmadon, and it kind of put me off Ninjago for the longest time. Fast forward to spring of this year, and I hear that the new Ninjago sets have these new joints that was going to be the successor of CCBS, which is a building system that I grew up with, namely in Hero Factory and Bionicle Generation 2. So I decided to buy one of the most cheapest sets in the line, the Zane's Mech Evo, and I decided to experiment and play around with a new building system. And I also made a video about me doing that, so you can check that out in the link below. Then we come to the current wave, LEGO Ninjago Crystallized. And this year, I do remember watching a clip from the show, seeing Pythor being invited to join the Crystal Council. And I thought, hey, Pythor's returning. That's cool, I grew up with the guy. But then I saw a bunch of these other villains, and I thought, I feel that this might be the end of a particular era. And I was right, to an extent. So to pay homage to the characters that I grew up with, I decided to buy some Ninjago crystallized sets. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my history with LEGO Ninjago. If there's an award for most inconsistent Ninjago fan, then do let me know, please.